All right, so here we are with a blank or a fresh copy of the plate and palette template. We're going to start fresh from this, and we're going to just switch out the homepage. We're going to redesign the homepage because I want to show you just how simple it is to just change a few things and really create a brand new website. So the first thing that we're going to do is update our site style. So I'm only changing the color palette on this template and the paragraph font. That is it. I'm not changing anything else on here. The heading font, nothing else is going to be changed. And the paragraph font that I'm going to be using is actually going to be the miscellaneous font. So this is Montserrat, and I'm going to just change the paragraph font to Montserrat. And then I'm going to update add a new color palette. That's not going to be this red and gray and black color. Then we're going to remove all of the template images that come with the template. I'm going to delete all of those because I'm not using any of them. And I'm going to add in my new images. I'm going to do that off camera because it's going to take a while because I have about 40 images that I'm going to upload. So I'm going to do that, pause the video, and then do that and come back. And then we'll get started with updating the homepage. All right, so first, let me just go in and update my site style. So what I have is a document that has everything that I'm going to add onto this new website. So I already have all of my hex code. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these added in really quickly. This next color. So I definitely recommend, having all of this already set up how you want to do it, because this is going to really expedite how fast you add your colors. Here, I'm going to change this. I don't have this one saved. I think I'm going to do just 1.5 because I really want it to be dark. All right. So those are our colors. If you go back, you see we have our new color themes here that are created automatically by Squarespace based on the colors in your palette. So that's fine. You can see this palette here. You can't see anything. That's because I have light text up against a light background, and that's going to come in handy. You'll see in a second. And then I'm just going to go in here for my heading, for my fonts rather, and change my paragraph font to Montserrat. Hit fonts, come back, and that's it. Those are the only styles that I am going to change. The next thing that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to update my header as well while we're here. So we're going to change the title. This is not going to be called Plate and Palette. The name of this new template is going to be called the Edit Loft. So that's that. And I'm going to save that. My button here, I'm going to change this because this template, this new website is going to be for a photographer. So book a session is going to be my call to action here. And I'm going to save that because I need to come out and I need to rename some pages. As you can see, I have gallery. Remember, the template is for a chef or a personal chef, a caterer. So they have a gallery. Maybe they do events. They want to have a gallery, have services, about their blog. And then these are just pages that come with the template. I just put them in the main navigation for the template purposes. But when you get your template, you would want to take this out of the main navigation and put it down into the not linked section. So I'm just going to minimize this. These are these other pages, and I'm just going to bring it down here to the not linked, get it out of the main heading. And here for this gallery, I want to rename this because this is a photographer. So I'm going to rename this to portfolio, and make sure you update this on all of these areas in here, because you want all of your page, their navigation title, your page title, your navigation title, and your URL slug, which is the actual link to the page. You want it to be updated accordingly. So make sure you make all of these changes, and we're going to hit save. And that's it. I'm going to still have a services page. I'm still going to have an about page, and I'm still going to have a blog. So all of those things are fine. I'm going to leave that there. Now I'm going to go in and add in my images. But first, I'm going to delete all of these template images because for this template, for this new website that I'm creating, I'm not using any of these. It's not going to be a food base, so I can delete all of these. If you are actually a food service provider, you're a caterer, you're a chef, and you want to use these images, you can. You do have the rights. The rights are transferred to you when you purchase the template. But for what I'm doing, I'm not. So I'm just going to delete these by clicking one and then going down here, selecting all, and then I am going to delete this. Now, this is going to take some time because once I delete these, I'm going to add in all of my new images. So I'm going to pause the video and do that, and then I'll come right back so we can build out the homepage. Okay, so here we are. I've uploaded all of my images that I want to use in this new web design, this new restyle. I deleted all of those images that were in here from the template, and I deleted them out of the trash because I did not want to bog down anything on the website. Now, I've already resized these images using a tool called Pix Resize, and I'll link to that in the description below. But you want to make sure that you already, prepare your images and make sure that everything is already resized and renamed and everything. Because this is just a sample website that I'm doing, I did not go through and rename every image, but you should. In your website, you should definitely rename the images, and you want to make sure that the name of each of your images align with what your website is about. And you want to describe the image in the title too. And you see how here there are hyphens between each word. You would do the same thing when you name your images. So just be sure that when you're naming them, you name it something that pertains to what the image is and what your website is about. So here are all of my images, and I'm going to go ahead and head back over to our homepage so that we can start designing this out. Now, as you begin to work in your template and you're adding in all of your content, before you start to work on any page, it is a good practice to duplicate that page so that you have a backup copy of it should something happen and you need to go back to what the original design was. So we're going to build out this home page here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to click on the gear icon here, and I'm going to scroll down and hit duplicate page. Yes, I want to confirm that I want to duplicate this page, and it's going to show up here in your not linked section with parentheses and copy behind it. So that's how you know which one you're on. But I'm going to update the actual page. So the copy is there if I need it, but I'm going to make my changes on the actual page. So let's go ahead and hit edit. Now, like I said earlier, I have a document that has all of my content, everything that I plan to put on the site. I recommend that you do the same thing as well. When you purchase the template, you also receive my website copy workbook. That is going to help you write content for your new website, unless you hire out a copywriter, of course. But if you need help writing out your own content, you'll have that workbook. So you want to get all of that together before you get in here and start tweaking around with all of the text and everything on the site. Just have everything ready that you need. Have all of your images ready, have all of your words ready. So when you get ready to go in here, it's going to be very quick for you to make all of your changes and get the website launched. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to change my eyebrow text here, which is this little small text. And I'm just going to put my new text in here. Now, what I've noticed with Squarespace is sometimes when you highlight something and paste over it, it can shift the spacing some. So in order to avoid that, sometimes you may just want to type it out. It just gets kind of weird sometimes. So just be mindful of that. You might see that happen sometimes. And if you do, just know that you probably should just type it out. But there's that. And then I'm going to add in my subheading here. So be careful of that too, as I'm trying to highlight this text. You see it kept moving the entire text box. So I'm just going to double click it so that it highlights, add in my new text here. And we have a single word here on this line. I don't like that. So I'm going to stretch this out a bit. Can't stretch that out. So let's see. I'm going to move it that way. Then I'm just going to move all of this over because I don't want that one image there. And I'm already at the edge here, so I'm going to move this all the way over. Okay. And since we got more space, I can actually bring some of this stuff in so that it's not so close. And you can just play around with the spacing and the sizing of the images. Yeah. So you see that how I'm trying to stretch it, but it's jumping back. Look at that yellow line there. When that yellow line moves, that's where the picture or the image is going to jump back to. So that's where you want to make sure you have it, where you have it where you need it to be. Since I stretched that out, my line here, I need to stretch this out, and I also need to adjust my button as well. The reason why I have this button so long is that when the screen begins to go down, I don't want my button to shift the wrong way. So I give it plenty of space to have room to move as the screen begins to shift down. So you see, I did move some things over, but overall, this is still the same. You can visualize what you need to do. So if it's too close, if it just doesn't look right, make some adjustments. You want to have enough white space, which is just this empty space around different elements on your page. You want to have enough white space so that it's easy to clear, to look at. So now I'm going to switch out. I think I'm going to go through and do all of my words first, and then I will do my go back and do my images and change my colors. So let me do my words first. You see when I paste that in, it added all this extra space. Just delete that out. Now, I do want to point out something here. So I have this as a heading 2 in this area, in this section here. Let me go back. Here in your hero section, this is a heading 1. You should only have one heading 1 on each page, and it should really be in your hero section, which is this first section on each page, and it should explain what that page is about. In this instance, because it's the home page, is essentially explaining what the whole website is about, but you only need one on each page. As you move into your other sections on your pages, the heading in those other sections should be an H2. Okay, so this is important for search engine optimization, and it helps screen readers for people who may be visually impaired. It also helps search engines to understand what the page is about, because it's looking at it as if it's an outline. So think about how you used to outline a paper if you were writing in school. Think about it like that. H1 is the main idea, and under that you have your H2, and then under the H2s you have your H3s. Under H3s you have H4s, and so on. It goes up to H6. Squarespace only goes up to H4. You really don't need anything past H4, but think about it like that. So here we have H2, and this should really be H3. I have this H2 as well. It can be an H2 or it can be an H3. I'm actually going to switch these out to H3 because I want it to be a little bit smaller, because my text is a little longer. Like what I'm adding in here is longer. So I'm going to switch these out to H3, which is totally fine because it supports this idea, right? So whatever your H2 is here, these things are supporting that idea. So it's totally fine for these to be smaller, to be the H3. And when you get ready to change, you don't have to highlight the text. If you just put the cursor in that line, like on that line of text, you can change what it is very easily instead of highlighting the whole thing. Okay, and I'm going to add in my paragraphs here, my descriptions. See, there go that space again. We're just going to delete that. Bring that down because I want these to match as far as the height. And the reason why that space was there, because when I copied the space too. So just, copy up to your, whatever your punctuation is, and that will keep that extra space from coming in there. And here for this call to action, I'm going to change this to explore services. All right, let's go down to our next section here. I'm going to change this. That, and then here's my paragraph. And this is going to be, let's create together. So I'm going to change what this call to action is, the CTA. And here we go with this, again, this one little word that's hanging on there. So I'm just going to stretch that out because I don't like that. Okay. And then we have our testimonials here. This is a content block. So I'm just going to hit edit content and then go right in here and add in each of my testimonials. And then my who said it. All right, I have one more. I'm going to add a new one here. Add it right here. And my person who said it. And there we go with that. That's all done. Here, instead of meet your chef, I'm going to have behind the lens because this is a photographer. And I originally, when I did this template, I had this as the scrolling text that Squarespace has, but then I changed it. And the reason why I changed it is because when I looked at the back end of it, that scrolling text, when I made it really big, and I love the effect of it, but it tagged it as that heading 1, that H1. And like I said earlier, we only want one H1 or one heading 1 on the page, and I did not like that. So I changed it and I just put the text in here and did the stretch text. So when I say stretch, you see I have this A here that expands the text to fit whatever size block you make it. So when you're changing this, my recommendation to keep everything from shifting all over the place would be to take that stretch off first, add in what it is that you want to add in, what you want the text to be, and then restretch it. So now that I have it there, I'm going to add a space there. I just want it to be bigger. And then now I'm going to stretch it. So it still shifted some, but not as much as it would have shifted if I did not shrink it back down, because that B, you see how wide this text box is. If I would have just typed that B, or once I typed it in there, it just would have stretched it out. It would have been huge. So to avoid that, just shrink it, add your text, and then stretch it out again. That's what I found that works really well for me. And then you can play with this a little bit. If you want this to come up, you can, however you want it to kind of go. So I'm going to just do it like this, and I'm going to play with this some once I put my my images in here. I'm going to play around with this a little bit because we're just going to make it, more fitting for what it is that we're doing. And then we have our heading here. Yeah, I'm going to bring that in some because it got that one little word there, and I don't like that. Oh, then this one made one word. Let's see. Okay, stretch it out. Just do it like that. Same thing here. Stretch out my button. And let's bring this up because we have plenty of space here. And our CTA is going to say uncover more of my story. Okay. All right, for our freebie here, we're going to change this to the brand shoot prep guide. And that text is inside of this newsletter block. So I'm going to just add my newsletter, my paragraph in there. Make sure that you name your form something that is going to be familiar to you. So when you get notified that someone filled this out, you'll know what page it is, what form it is. So for example, you may want to name this something like homepage freebie. Just so you know, when someone fills it out, then you will know exactly what, which form it is that they filled out. Also in here, be sure to update your storage section, your storage options, so you can designate where you want the email to go. Do you want to send a confirmation? Just all of those things. So make sure you update those settings as well. All right, here for our blog, we're going to change this to from the journal. Here's some more stretch text. You can tell because it got that A there. So like I said before, I'm going to shrink it first. Then I'm going to add in my new text and then expand it again. And you see, this is much smaller because this is more words. And so it's the same amount of space, but it's more words. And the text is only going to take up the amount of space for that text box. So I want to stretch this out some because I want this really big. I want this to be big and I want it to, look how it looked before. So I'm just going to stretch it out some and I'm going to bring this down like that. And actually what I'm going to do is highlight all of this. I want it up some. There we go. This is going to change out once we put in our blogs. This will change out. This is a summary block and this is just pulling straight from the blog itself. All right, and then our last area, our final call to action. There go our heading. And here's our paragraph. I'm going to bring this in some because I don't like those one words. Let's make sure nothing, you never want this to overlap. You see how this is here and it's overlapping? You never want that to happen. It will not work right, won't look right. Once the page starts to shrink down, they'll overlap so much to where you can't read it. So we never ever want that to happen. And then our call to action, I think I'm just going to put book your session. You can put book your session, get started or something like that. Now, okay, so I'm looking at this. It's a lot of space here. I can't bring this up because if you look really closely, like the G, the line on the G here and the Y is dropping down into these little boxes. So it won't allow me to bring it up. But what I can do, I can shrink this down to where it's just one. Hit G to pull up my grid, where it's just one row here. And that kind of brings it closer. And here I have this text in the center, but this text, I have it at the top. So let me align this to the center and it just make it, oh, no, I don't like it like that. Let's put it back to the top. Yeah, that looks better. So you see the spacing just looks better here. Now in our footer, obviously we're going to change our name here again. And we had gallery. We are going to change this to portfolio. I was hoping I could keep it the same. And put all my caps because I didn't do anything special with the text. So you have to actually use your caps lock. Let's go ahead and add our portfolio link in here. And the rest of these are going to stay the same. And my CTA here is going to be book a session now. Or book your session. Oh, my caps lock is on. Okay, so we've already added all of our text. All of our text is there. Now, the only thing that we need to do is go through and add in our images. And then we are done. We'll add our images and then add some styling to like the sections of the, each section on the page. And then we'll be done with the home page that fast. And it's been under 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and add in our images. I'm just going to go in. So you're going to click the image, hit, oh, it's not there anymore because I deleted them. That's why it's flipping around like this. It's not pulling up anything because the image technically is not there because I deleted it. And I don't like the list when I'm trying to pick images. So I'm going to switch it over to a grid here so I can actually see what I'm doing. This, I just need a decorative image. So I think I'm going to use these flowers here. And for this, I am going to pick an image of our main character. Let's find a good picture of her. One that I want to use. Let's see. And I want an image that's vertical, not horizontal. So I think this is good. I'm gonna use that one. Now, I also kind of want this. Well, let's see. Let's just add our images in first before we change any colors or anything. Let's see what that looks like. So this is for my services. So I'm just going to add pictures of our main character for services. You know, you can add whatever images that you want, but I'm just going to find some vertical pictures of her and add those in. Maybe I'll add in like 2 of her and 1 in the middle that's not of her. You know, something like that. Let's see. Maybe this one here. Then here, maybe I'll add an image of, you know, something that's more just decorative. See what we have. Oh, I like this picture. That's nice. And then another picture of her. All right. And we can probably do maybe something like that. Okay, that's cool. Now here, we got this big picture. We really just need something decorative. I think I know which image I want to add here. I think I'm going to do this one. And so you'll kind of have it in mind as you do your pictures. So you see these are broken because I deleted the images out. So again, we just need some decorative images. I'm just going to put, I think I'm going to use, I like this. Where did it go? Yeah. So kind of look at the shape of the image. So I got this one kind of square. I mean, you can change it. The good thing, what I really like about Square images is I can reshape the image however I want. I love that because, you know, I can take it, I can put it on feel, I can put it on fit. Like I can really change whatever it is that I need to change. Here, this is just going to be an image of her. So let me find another image that shows her. I can use this one. This is fine. And then this picture is going to be just another decorative one. And it really doesn't matter. I think this is good. And what I want her picture on top. So I'm going to move this image back. So when you click on the image, you have these here. This is move backward. So if I move this backward, it's only going to move it backward 1 layer. And yeah, I'm going to pull this down some because I want to see more of that. And I can probably maybe even make this image just a little bigger. I can maybe bring this down. Remember I said I was going to kind of play with this section a little bit to see what I wanted to do here. And I think this is good. Make sure we at the bottom. Okay. And then for our freebie, I'm going to choose an image of her, I think. So I'm just going to hit replace, select from library, and I can probably choose, let's see, which one do I want to pick? Let's do this one. And we have to update our blog in order to get that one. So here, I think I'm going to stick with the pattern of having those roses kind of be my background decorative image. So I'm going to choose, let's see if I have another picture with the roses. No, I did that one already. Let's do this one. And then here, just gonna do, let's see, another picture of, what if we did something like this? Let's see what that looks like. Okay. All right. So we're pretty much done. I mean, you could leave it like this technically. I would, I want to add a little something more, but realistically, you could actually leave it like this. If you don't like this pink, for example, you can change this because this is kind of bright for me. You can change this color. Maybe you just want to make it the black color. So we can change the color here. Kind of adds a little more, mystique to it. Maybe the same thing here. I think this is a section. So I can change, instead of having it this section here, I can change it, make it dark. Here, I can make this section, maybe I want this to be dark too. Okay, why not? I can make it dark. Let's hit save. We haven't hit saves. Make sure as you're doing these things, you hit save periodically. I just realized I had not hit save one time the entire time I was doing this. But I'm going to actually, because this section is dark, this last section before the footer is dark and the footer is dark, I'm going to actually stretch this out a bit so that it has just more space. It's going to just look better. And now what I'm doing, I'm just selecting all of this. So I'm holding my mouse down and selecting it all, and I'm going to bring this down. And I'm looking at, let me hit G for grid on my keyboard. I want to even this up. So you see I have 3 rows at the bottom, but I only have 1 at the top. So what I could actually do, to be honest, is instead of doing all of that, let's just move this back up to the top, right? And move this all the way up. And let me take off fill screen, because right now I have it on fill screen. Let me take that off. And my height, I want it to be medium. And that'll give me my space. So then I don't have to worry about it. Let the technology work for you. Now this, I am going to adjust. Let me put my grid back on. Because as you can see, I got all these rows down here. 6 rows and 4 here. So let me bring this down 1 and make it 5 and 5. All right, 5 here, 5 there. Now it's more even. It just looks more even. Yep. And I think I want this section to be dark too, because I don't know how I feel. Let's see what this one looks like with the, oh no. Yeah, this works for me. Originally, when I tried to restyle this, I did the whole thing dark, and I think I really like that. Let's see. Yeah, I like this picture up against this dark background. Yeah. And I think we're really, I mean, to be honest, this is it. It's done. Now, I don't like this pink. I don't like this border in the header. So I'm going to take that off. I'm going to go into edit header, edit design. And down here under effects for border, I am going to, well, let's see what happens if we change the color. Maybe we need to change it to dark. Let's see what that looks like. Now let's view this as a whole page, hit exit, and then hit the arrow up in the right corner. And let's see this, how it would look. Yeah, I like the dark one, the dark line. And look, we've restyled this home page that fast. We're on 35 minutes. I did block out, I don't know, maybe about 5 minutes or so when I uploaded those pictures. But that's it. You've already done your home page in 35 minutes. And the only other pages you have that you're going to be adding images on really is your services and your about page. You could update the blog. You're just going to add your blog post in there, add your images, and then you'll keep that going. But you could realistically have this entire your website done in under a day. If you dedicate a couple of hours, you will be done. As long as you have all of your prep work done, which you receive, all of the things that you need to help you prep for, styling your template, changing it to match your business. All of that is given to you when you make your template purchase. So as long as you work through everything, you are going to be just fine, and you will be able to have your website launched in literally a couple of hours. So here we go. We've updated plate and palette. We've gone from the original one that was for a chef, and now we have a whole new look and feel here for a brand photographer. Now, if you have any questions about anything that I did, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll also link to the original template as well if you guys are interested in it. And I'll add a discount code just for people who are viewing this video. If you want to go ahead and get plate and palette, I think it's one of my most versatile templates. As you can see, I was able to do all of this in about 30 minutes flat, and you can too. All right, so thank you so much for watching this. And if you have any questions, please leave them below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.